is enough, and it's time for a change.
Are you ready?
It is Sunday, and you're listening to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah! Get some man! Ooh, yeah!
With Kinny Killa.
Hey, yo! We're in the big D tonight, baby! And we are live! Woo!
I'm the gal them sugar should.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be! Cause that's the bottom line! The Stone Cold Censor!
Oh, son of a bitch, if you just heard the glass shatter, that's right, it's the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast, episode 155, right here on VOC Nation and Swerve Talk, and I am the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, the one man with no Instagram, Kinny Killa. So, let's kick into it, guys. Let me introduce you to our guest of today. It is the host of the alternate angle, that's right, it is none other than Mr. Josh Dillon.
Finally, Josh Dillon has come back to Sunday Segue. Good to be with you this morning, brother.
It's been... Tell me, or tell the Segheads what you told me about the last time you were on and what the date was.
It was December 2014 last time I was on your show, and we don't have guests, so I can only be on your show.
But shame on me. That's shame on me. That's my fault, Segheads. That is my fault. So I have to give myself a slap on the wrist for that. But nevertheless, I'm glad that I reached out to you and made sure you made your return onto the show. So how have you been, man? How's the alternate angle going? How's everything? How's Pepper Brooks? How's it all going?
Yeah, everything's going well, man. The show's doing good. Show's growing in viewers every week. Every week that we actually do an episode, we're not as consistent as you guys are. Usually it's every week, but then I always say it kind of is whenever we feel like it, kind of sort of thing. We're doing well. Like I said, we're starting to break off a few more listeners every week. Pepper's doing good. Pepper was going to be on with us today, but he's doing another shooting match. He's traveling, so he wouldn't be able to do this with us today. So all's well here in Alternate Angle Land.
Good. It's good to hear. I mean, obviously, since we last spoke, a lot has happened in the wrestling world. We're going to talk today, obviously, about the Raw Fallout. We're going to talk about NXT, which happened to be a one-match show, which was very interesting. And also, we're going to talk about WWE Roadblock. So, hopefully, guys will listen to the show. They've seen Roadblock, and, it's not going to be any spoilers. If it is a spoiler, sorry about your damn luck. You should have watched it. God damn it. But nevertheless, let's kick into it. It's the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you check out our website, the Sunday Segue Podcast.wix.com/Sunday Segue. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. That's at Sunday Segue. Segue spelled SEGUE. You can follow me. That's at Kinny Killa. Killa spelled KILLA. Also, like us on Facebook. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you rate us on iTunes. You can listen to us on Podomatic, Stitcher, and don't forget to download that Double Twist player. Right, let's go to the shout outs. Segheads, you know who you are. I'm going to shout out some of you right now. If I can't fit you in, I'm sorry about your damn luck. I will fit you in next week. So, shout out to Crystal McIntyre. Who else we got? We got number one UK WWE fan. That's at I Am The Harry. Also, that's at The Mark Out 1. We got at one Canadian Sweet Tea. We got at the pump _ handle. I like that one. That's at wrestling _OD. We got Paragon Pro Wrestling. We got at WWE TNA ROH Love 1. We also got the DWI podcast. That's Drunk Wrestling Intelligence podcast. Make sure you check those guys out. Also, shout out to that's Igly Lime. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And also last shout out to Wrestling Film Federation. Guys, they're a collection of film and movie nerds who make movie fights just like pro wrestlers who star in them. All right, any shout outs for you, Josh?
I'll shout out to Pepper Brooks, who couldn't be here today, and to probably our number one fan, your buddy James Belmont.
Hey, Belmont banter. Gotta give him a shout. obviously, I'm going to give the usual shout outs to our business partners in crime. That's maxwrestling.wix.com/Max Wrestling. Check out the new issue that has just been published, so make sure you check that out. And obviously, you would have listened to their podcast on VOC Nation, which was just before ours. So yeah, make sure you check them out. Also, I want to give a shout out to OneWrestling.com, Bill Apter, Big Slam Nation, you know who you are. Also, shout out to the Offshoot Radio crew. Give a shout out to the Pigeon Patrol. Also, shout out to You What Gaming YouTube show. Make sure you check out Jason Clarkson and Squeak. Okay, that's all the formalities. Let's get into our Raw Fallout. So, interesting week of Raw. Obviously, we've got 3 weeks before WrestleMania, 22 days they're calling it as of today. So we start off Raw. I mean, Shane McMahon comes out again, another massive pop. Josh, I mean, I was really surprised about how how over Shane is on the second week. The first week, I thought, okay, he's gonna get the massive pop, but another week, dude, I was definitely surprised.
He's on fire. I mean, his promos, even though he's not really stepping out of the box, it's a dialogue between him and his dad, but it was great. Like he was great. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but then Vince comes out and they have the back and forth. I'm gonna disown you, all this crap. I don't know what you think, but Vince was better this past Monday than he has been in a very long time when he was going back and forth with Shane.
Yeah, I thought the same. It felt very Attitude Era-esque, the way he flowed nicely compared to the weeks before.
And I like the fact that the stuff that Shane's been coming out and saying is the stuff that the internet fans and the podcasters and everybody's been saying. He's just repeating what everyone has already said, that the product is lame. It lacks it lacks thought. There's no direction. He's just basically. He's coming out there and putting it out on the line, what is actually happening. And it does feel more like the Attitude Era. It does kind of, even though there might not be anything that comes out of this, it does kind of breathe some life into it. And I would dare say the product has been better since Shane's been on in the last 3 or 4 weeks than it has been, for the whole year before that. Yeah,
definitely. He's just hot right now, man. It's just like literally, it must be so. He must feel so appreciative of the WWE universe and how he's managed to connect with them, and he hasn't been on TV for that long. What do you think about the video package, though, man?
What video package are you talking about? Did I miss something?
The video package, the Shane video package.
I don't think I saw it. No, tell me about it.
Oh, dude, I can't believe you missed it. Okay, so they prepared a video package of all Shane's highlights, all right? And
yeah. Okay, I did see that. Yeah, all of his spots off the top of everything and the top of the arenas and stuff. He did some wicked shit, dude.
I mean, I'm watching this thing and I'm like, yo, was Shane McMahon this good? Like, he's definitely a highlight reel. But I thought this, for guys who didn't know who Shane McMahon was, they definitely know who he is now.
Oh, it was great. They learned today for sure. No, you forget some of the things that he did and some of the daredevil stunts. His in-ring work isn't that great, and and I don't know if the part where Vince sent in 4 security guards that are smaller than we are to get Shane out of the ring, and Shane looked like it was his very first day in karate class. Like, he did not look at all like he had ever thrown a punch in his entire life. I didn't quite understand how he could, how it could look that bad, but then no one cared. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But that whole concept is like, you sent 3 or 4 guys into the ring. When you own the company full of 300-pound wrestlers, you could have sent in to remove your son from the in-ring. Kind of didn't make a whole lot of sense. But I guess if they thought that Shane was going to go in there and throw all these awful, weird-looking punches, that it better be against some guys that are smaller than him. Because if he was in there beating up on Ryback like that, then, it would have got nowhere.
Oh, God, them kayfabe punches, those work punches, man, just shocking, absolutely shocking. No extension of the arm, nothing. It's just little flurry punches. It was just so weird. I like the body shots though. The body shots was all right, but anything apart from that was yeah.
But but he is. I mean, he has done some crazier stuff than Jeff Hardy. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's saying something. I mean, the dude has, you know, when he was performing, you know, when he was full time wrestling, he was just insane. And in that video package, I'm glad you reminded me, because I was focusing on matches here. Figured we were going to talk about. I didn't even have that on my radar that we were going to discuss the video package. But it was awesome. Some of the stuff he's done.
All right, let's go on to this whole Ambrose Triple H thing, because obviously we have Roman Reigns out at the moment. He's got something wrong with his nose and yada yada yada. So they had to put something, a roadblock, in the way. So Ambrose, you know, he's coming out. These promos over the last 2-3 weeks, I thought, has been really, really good, to the point, and he knows how to capture the crowd. Do you think he should be where Roman Reigns is right now?
He should be there if they want the person who fights Triple H to be cheered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's simple. The guy has got himself so over. I'm not a huge Dean Ambrose fan. I wouldn't even say I'm a marginal Dean Ambrose fan. I think he's kind of corny. I think he's kind of a, I don't know. He's just kind of a corny guy, and some of his little rope bounce. I've hated it since the very first day I seen it. Yep. He does it like 8 times in a match. I just don't get it. I don't see why he has to continuously do that. It just makes him look even more ridiculous. He has been doing really good lately. Like, his promos have been good. He's very intense. I mean, you cannot say that when he goes out there and has a match, he does give it everything he's got. He looks like he puts everything he's got into it. He doesn't worry about, you know, getting dropped on his head or you know, he'll dive over the top, off the top of the turnbuckle into the tables and stuff. He doesn't care. I like that he puts it out there on the line. I just don't connect with him like it seems like the majority of the fans do. But yes, long way around, yes, I think he should be in Roman Reigns' spot, because Roman Reigns is nowhere near as over as Dean Ambrose. He's nowhere near as good as Dean Ambrose. And he's a complete waste of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's definitely time for them to think about, especially after WrestleMania, doing something different, because right about now you're trying to push a dead horse, man. Yep. It's like it's not the one. He is not managing to get over with the crowd at all. The only way they can pretty much do that if they turn him heel, and they should have done it a long time ago, man. The writing was on the wall for Roman Reigns since the Royal Rumble last year.
Yep.
You know,
it was right there, laid out for him. And he, you know, you want to get a crowd reaction one way or the other. And right now he is getting the heel reaction. I mean, when, you know, it's been 2 Royal Rumbles ago, but you had to send The Rock out to save him. You had to send The Rock out, and that didn't work. They still got booed. You know, they need to just all right. You know what? We tried. We really did try. This was our guy. It's not going to work this way. Stone Cold Steve Austin turned heel and made him one of the biggest stars in the company's ever seen. I mean, this is they have to have a reason to like you, and they don't like you. They hate you. So embrace it. Like Eva Marie. Everyone they wanted Eva Marie to be the face of the Divas, the NXT Divas division. They wanted her to, you know, get brought up and be the mega face of women's wrestling, whatever. Well, everyone hated her. Everyone does hate her. They embraced it. They made her a heel girl. So it works. You have to use whatever reaction that they're getting you. I don't care what the plan is. The plans have to be changed, especially when they're not working. And this is not working. They're going to send him now they had the perfect opportunity to change it. Now they're going to send him to WrestleMania in front of almost 100,000 people, and he's going to get booed, and Triple H is not supposed to get cheered. It's going to get cheered.
Yeah, Roman Reigns, I don't know how they do it. They just have to do a double switch somehow, but it's just, yeah, right about now they either do it then or they do the switch at Mania, the night after Mania, because what should happen is he should win the title, and then on Raw, he'd be like, you know what, I'm the champion now. I don't know why you're booing me, and start the process there. Start the process there and gradually do it. But you know what? I cannot. Do you know how much I miss Seth Rollins? Like, is this guy? I actually miss the guy being there. It's the same when Edge was out for all that time. I missed him, and they're definitely missing Seth Rollins right now. All right, let's move on to Owens versus Neville. Amazing match, I thought. A really, really good match. They obviously have Neville as a guy on hand who can put other people over and have amazing matches and still put himself over. The crowd never get bored of Neville, no matter whether he wins or loses. What it does for his career is another thing, but what it does for the matches, it just makes the matches incredible.
You know, a note that I wrote down. Anytime these indie scene guys, in quotation, indie scene guys, get in the ring together, I get a boner. They, you know, anytime Owens is in the ring, I love it because I love Owens. He's like my favorite. He's probably my favorite character right now. But no, him and Neville just tore down the building. I mean, it was just those guys have great chemistry together. And Neville, Neville puts on great matches all the time. He has, some of the ridiculous aerial moves that everyone just goes nuts over. But he has solid matches. Take that out, and he still has great matches. Then you insert, the end of the match, Sami Zayn. That was a great part of the show right there.
Oh man, tell me about it. Like, the music hits. The thing is, I said last week on the show that there was rumors on the dirt sheets, take it for what it is, that Sami Zayn will be wrestling at WrestleMania in some form. And as soon as this happened, obviously Kevin Owens won. Was it a roll up? Did he win with a roll up?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he won with a roll up.
Everybody wins with a roll up.
He takes out Neville and then goes to do the powerbomb on the apron. And I knew at that moment, what was going to happen. And Sami Zayn comes down, and I just love how everyone just went crazy. And these guys just met each other. Like, Owens didn't just stand there and wait for him to come. He met him halfway, and they just laid into each other. I absolutely loved that. And I thought it was really great storytelling. Now, what do you think? Do you think they go for a Sami Zayn versus Owen match at WrestleMania for the IC title, or do you think it's going to be a multi-match?
I mean, I would prefer it just to be one-on-one, but it's probably going to be a fatal four-way or a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. I would prefer it to be just straight up Owens versus Zayn. They've already got the backstory for all of this. They don't need to retell it. There is a story. They actually did build this in NXT, and he's carried that hate through the Royal Rumble this past year where Sami Zayn eliminated Owens. So you have the story. You don't need to spend time building it. So you've got 3 weeks. Let them finish telling it. Let it culminate in a match at WrestleMania between the two. But they're probably not going to go that route.
No, and it means that they're probably saving the feud for after Mania, which is fine because they probably want to give it more time, even though they have got 3 weeks left, 4 weeks left on Mania, but they probably want to give it more time and do it one-on-one properly. They obviously see money in this feud. It's real emotion. Yeah. They're real friends. So I look forward to seeing that. But yeah, Neville, man, I feel like he should be given more. When he went back to NXT last week, he was a star. It was like it was a star, coming back home, right. And you can tell the difference between him being, going on NXT and looking the star, and then coming back on Raw, but still looking the star, but looking like he's just a bit part player. So I
would almost argue that everybody in NXT is a star. Mm-hmm. It's just been developed so much better than what we're accustomed to on the main shows. Everybody that wrestles has great matches, and everyone that comes out to a crowd reaction. So, but
I mean, when we do the NXT Fallout, we're definitely going to touch upon what happens after Mania with certain guys going up, who's going to replace these guys, and so on and so on. In the meantime, let's go to WYATT AJ versus the New Day. Oh man, before we get into what happened after this match of the night, I was marking out with how good and how well this match flowed just from start to end. I thought New Day were amazing. I thought AJ and Jericho, the chemistry between them two as tag partners were great. I thought the way that they used the whole t-shirt thing was just amazing. putting it up on the WWE shop for a limited amount of time to make sure that this seemed real. Oh man, I thought the whole story line thing was just great.
Yeah, it was. New Day keeps getting better. You know, from the very beginning, I was one of the few people that said this is going to be awesome. When they were in the choir, I said, you know what? Give them time. Give them time. They need to figure out what it is that they're going to do. And it's all clicked. I'm not big on the running around with the boners on top of their heads. Other than that, those guys have been fantastic. And they've had the best match that they've had as a group this past, versus AJ and Y2J. They were on fire. They all hit all their moves. And then we haven't even gotten to the point where we talk about how phenomenal AJ Styles is.
Oh man, AJ Styles, they're booking him so good right now. They're booking him so good, so right, to the point where people are still chanting him. His entrance is good. I feel like I'm glad he's gonna be on Mania. I wish it was against Nakamura, but obviously that's not gonna happen. But yeah, it's good to see that they're actually booking him right, and hopefully out of this, after Mania, they continue to book him great. The moves, listen, the guy actually pulled off the moonsault inverted DDT. Finally he pulled it off, and it looked so good. Oh man, and then he did the 450. I thought he was gonna save that until WrestleMania, but man, he pulled out that 450 like crazy.
He's got other moves. He's gonna save something wicked for WrestleMania. I mean, the cat's he's just amazing. I know you've followed him, and I've followed him for years, and have just always hoped that if he ever got the opportunity to come to WWE, he could actually be AJ Styles. I was very, very hesitant after the 2 or 3 weeks of Miz getting involved and calling him a redneck rookie, and then them constantly saying how he was the bulldog in the ring, and I'm like, you're screwing with this. Let AJ Styles be AJ Styles. Don't change AJ Styles. He's awesome as he is. He doesn't need to be nitpicked and changed and WWEized. He is fine the way he is. He is over the way he is, and leave him alone.
Exactly. Leave it alone. New Day, what can I say? Just the whole character, the whole charisma, everything Big E, just like Kofi, it's just a new lease of life. Xavier Woods is just him and that trombone. I just love it. Just the way it's just like
they're so good, man. They're just so good together.
Speaking of Xavier Woods, people, seg heads, make sure you go out of your way to check out Chris Jericho's latest podcast with Xavier Woods and Cody Rhodes. Now, Xavier Woods was on a few weeks ago by himself, and they were talking about him. He's from Marietta, Georgia, and he went to this high school, which was Cody Rhodes' rival high school, and they were in the same year or a year above, and they actually wrestled each other when they were doing amateur wrestling for high school wrestling. Man, it was great. They were saying how Cody stole his girl, like all this stuff. It is just like, it is amazing. And then they had this reunion show where they actually Jericho had them two together, and they were talking about all these old stories. Guys, it is absolutely off the chain if you want to hear about some really funny stories between these two guys. It's absolutely great. So Y2AJ match is finished. The match finishes amazingly. The way that Big E and Kofi got involved with it, with Y2J, and they got the pin. Yeah, it was great. And then at the end, we all thought it was going to happen. AJ obviously going to help up Jericho. Jericho, not one, not two, but three code breakers, and does a Ted DiBiase and just shoves the t-shirt down his mouth. What a visual.
Yeah, it was great. It's like, everybody who bought this stupid t-shirt, you're welcome.
And then on SmackDown, obviously burning it, putting it in the trash. That again, what a feud this has been. It's going to be the fourth match between them, but does that matter to you?
No, not at all. It's fine. If AJ Styles is going to be in a meaningless match at WrestleMania, I would prefer him to be in there with Jericho, because now that Jericho is heel, we get a totally different. He was kind of he was hating on AJ for beating him in his first match, but he was still face, and we still had a little bit of a love fest going on. But now that he went straight up full on heel mode, especially at the promo he cut on Roadblock, I mean, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. I can't wait for it, man. All right, before we go to a break, let's just touch on this whole Lana wrestling thing now. Now that surprised me. That's come out of left field. Do you think this has got anything to do with Brie Bella retiring soon?
Well, we go back to what we talked about Reigns. You know, the long-term plan was for Lana to be the face of the WWE Divas division. You know, then that kind of fell by the wayside. She got hurt, and then the whole where she screwed up and tweeted out or Instagrammed out the fact that her and Rusev were engaged when she was supposed to be with Ziggler on TV, kind of derailed that push. So maybe it is. Maybe it's just like, well, we're going to, since we already planned it, let's go ahead and use it because we don't want to forbid us from thinking up something new to happen. Let's just go on and since we have this plan and go with it. I don't know. Maybe it's a retirement match they're building to for Lana versus Brie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, especially what they did with Lana because she come out dressing out like she was with Ziggler.
Yeah.
So
it didn't make any sense.
No,
it's
not
okay.
at all, so.
I mean, she looks good in a denim skirt. So.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, we're going to go to a break right now so you can hear from our sponsors at VOC Nation. And then we will be back talking about the NXT Fallout and talking about WWE Roadblock. So people, make sure you do not miss it.
This is King Kong Bundy, and you're listening to the VOC Nation.
Hey, I'm the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, telling you fans worldwide to visit VOCNation.com. VOC Nation gives you top-notch interviews with the hottest guests, the latest news, and lots of fun from the greatest team headed by the voice of choice. Hey, take it from me, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. VOCNation.com is the place to go, baby.
Okay, Philadelphia parents, listen up. Do you have a child in the house that's just about to learn how to drive? Well, you got to do this. You got to head over to DuncanschoolofDriving.com. Best of Bucks County 2013 as voted by the Courier Times. Duncan School of Driving, specialists in teenage driver training. Keep that insurance down. Keep them accident-free. 215-639-1990. They're endorsed by the Pennsylvania Police Officers Association, DuncanschoolofDriving.com.
And we're back, people. Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast Part 2. It's your boy, Kinny Killa, here with Josh Dillon from the Altered Angle Wrestling Podcast. So right about now, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Custom Wrestling Figures. Custom Wrestling Figures, they will make you figures of any wrestler in the world, all your indie favorites, all your legends, anyone. You could get a figure custom made of the alpha female. You can get a custom figure made of Jay Lethal, Adam Cole, all those guys that you can't get figures of right now, they can make for you. It takes a day to make. All you got to do is go to their Twitter page and holler at Chris Mitchell. Make sure you holler at him. Make sure you give in and quote #Segue and you'll get a deal. So make sure you check them out. So that's Custom Wrestling Figures, giving you the best figures in the world for any professional wrestler in the world. Okay, so with that said, we're going to go into NXT Fallout right about now. So NXT, this week we had the big match. We had the 2 out of 3 falls match for the #1 contendership for the NXT title. William Regal came out and let us know that Austin Aries will be facing off against Baron Corbin at NXT Dallas. First off, Josh, now how great is it to have Austin Aries part of the NXT roster?
I think it's great. We have AJ, we have Sam, we have AJ, we have Joe, and now Austin Aries. I mean, that's awesome that they're all 3 in NXT now. I think it's fantastic.
Man, this guy has so much charisma. He knows how to wrestle also. And also he could cut a really good promo. He knows how good he is. And I am really looking forward to seeing him mix it up, in NXT. So this match, again, I was surprised that we saw Samoa Joe coming out straight away. I was thinking, okay, they're promoting other matches going to be on the card, what's happening here? So I was surprised, and then I thought, this is absolutely genius.
When they started off the show with this match, you're thinking, really, they're going to lead with this? And then it takes about 20-25 minutes and there's no fall yet, and you're like, we got an hour-long match here.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I thought of. Like, it's gonna pretty much fill the whole show up, and boy, did it!
Oh,
Goodness gracious! Those guys went at it. Those guys beat the crap out of each other. It was a fantastic match.
Mm-hmm. What a build, man! What a build for a number one contendership match. Like that is how you do it. You know, that is how you do it. And I think that this definitely helped Samoa Joe, because Samoa Joe, before he turned heel, was a bit stale, and now he's turned heel. He's just worked out of his skin to get himself over, which he is now. And I feel like in this match as well, it showed his massive strength. Power striker, everything like that. The muscle buster got over. I was surprised though, Josh, that Sami Zayn made Samoa Joe tap out with the Koji clutch.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's more believable though than Sami Zayn pinning him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I kind of do like that. I didn't really have a problem with him winning via submission. You know, one of the falls. Sami Zayn had a great match. The only pet peeve that I have with him is that he acts like he gets knocked out all the time. And he's out in left field looking at the stars, counting sheep, like for the majority of his match. Like he's like out of it. I think he needs to ring that back in a little bit, but that's just a blip. We're not going to really worry about that. He's a great performer. But Samoa Joe is as good or better than he's ever been. You know, Joe's had some phenomenal matches with Kurt Angle over the years in TNA. I mean, he's really done. He has done it all except come to the WWE but ever since he's been there, he's been in NXT. He's been great. He's been great. He's something that they need. They don't have a guy that looks like him, that can move like him. I still can't figure out how this guy is so agile at his size. He is great to watch. He's so intense. I mean, when you see them in there, it looks like he really wants to kill that person that he's in the ring with, and it just comes so easy to him. I love Samoa Joe. I love him anyway, but I love him being in NXT, and I'm glad that we're going to see him versus Finn Balor again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, these two now going off to face off each other against at NXT Dallas, which is going to be an amazing match. It's definitely gonna be a hard one to call, depending on what they do after, NXT Dallas and after Mania. So that would definitely be interesting to see. Now, Josh, what do you think of Corey Graves?
I don't like him. He gets on my last damn nerve. If I could get in the ring with any of them, I'd beat up Michael Cole first, and then I would use Michael Cole's limp body to beat the crap out of Corey Graves. It may not be a popular opinion, but I like being the guy that doesn't, kind of is the weird guy. So I know a lot of people like him. I don't like him. I don't like it when the announcers try to make the announcing more about themselves than about the product, like JBL does. I cannot stand an over-the-top heel persona calling matches like what they're doing with Jerry Lawler right now. It's like almost like you're hijacking it. Just call the damn match the way that you see it. I don't need you to tell me who I need to like and who I don't need to like. That just aggravates me, and that's what he does, and I don't like him for it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like you said, some people like him, some people don't. There is a lot of people that like him. I am one of them. But this is why we love the Sunday Segue. We're not all sheep.
No,
we're not all sheep. You can have your own opinion, and it will be listened to and heard by everybody and by all. So, okay, I like that, and I like that there's a difference, and not everyone's saying the same thing. So that's all good. Also, what I wanted to talk about quickly was, what now happens after WrestleMania to NXT? The NXT writer has now been called up to SmackDown, which may affect NXT. I hope it doesn't, and I hope it doesn't affect how greatly it's been written. So that's one thing. It looks like Finn Balor will be going up. Depending on what happens with Gallows and Anderson, I doubt they'll be in NXT because I'm hearing reports on the dirt sheets. Take that for what you will. They're going to go straight to the main roster, which makes me think we will have a stable with Finn Balor, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson. But then there's also talk of Samoa Joe going up to the main roster. So who fills the boots, Josh?
You know, I feel like Joe going to the main roster is bad. And I also feel like that Finn Balor going to the main roster is bad. Because, all right, let's break it apart real quick. Joe going to the main roster, I feel like it's going to be viewed, and he's going to be booked less, what's the word? Less impressive than Kevin Owens was for a bigger guy. You know, I don't see him going to the main roster and making an impact and doing much of anything. And it's unfortunate. I like him in NXT. I think he's fine there. He's great there. If they're going to not use him properly on the main roster, then he just needs to stay in NXT. However, if Finn Balor, which we all, if we follow him at all on Instagram or Twitter, we know that he is pretty much Triple H's boy. I feel like if they're going to bring in Gallows and Anderson and and make the Bullet Club 2.0 again, I feel like they're going to have to use that, and they're going to have to feature that. There's a lot of name recognition with those guys, so you know, putting them up on the main roster and then flushing them down the toilet, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, at least without trying. So I feel like that Balor has a better chance of making it on the main roster than Joe does. But you know, does Nakamura then kind of step in and take the place of Balor on the NXT roster?
Well, see, that's a good question, because the WWE have spent a lot of money on Nakamura, a lot of money, and obviously I know they're gonna have him in NXT for a while, because they got to get him used to the WWE style and so on and so on. It's different for AJ because obviously he's wrestled in America, but I'm hearing he's going to be on NXT for a while, so Nakamura may take over. Obviously, Austin Aries will be there, which is great. They've obviously signed other guys like Biff Busick, who just made his debut a couple of weeks ago. They also got Rich Swann, and they got a couple of other guys that they signed. Oh man, La Sombra, don't even get me started on the guy. I've completely forgot that they've signed him, and he's going under, I think it's his real name, Manuel Andrade. So again, I cannot wait. This guy is such a talented guy, one of the biggest stars in Mexican wrestling at the moment. Again, he's a former IWGP Intercontinental Champion, so look forward to having him there on NXT. And obviously him and Nakamura has faced off together before, so obviously don't forget a returning Hideo Itami. So there's guys out there that can make it good. The women, on the other hand, may be different, because Bayley's obviously looks like she's gonna go up. Asuka will hold the fort, but there's gonna be more people needed, I think. Signed more women signed to help shore up that roster. I mean, yeah, I've got a lot of good women on the roster, but they need a bit more. So it'd definitely be interesting to see what happens after Mania. I'm excited. I'm more excited about NXT Dallas than I am Mania. I don't know if you share the same sentiment.
Yes, I do. I feel like the NXT card is just, it's probably going to be the best NXT show that we've ever seen, and I don't think we can say the same for WrestleMania being the best WrestleMania we've ever seen. But no, it has the potential. NXT Dallas has the potential to be one of the greatest cards that they've ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I definitely think they could have gone to a bigger arena, because they're only doing 8,000. Especially I think when they did 15,000 at Barclays Center.
Oh yeah, they could have. If it would have worked out, they could have played where the Mavs play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like they could have easily sold that. I mean, that would have been closer to 20.
Where is it? Is that the American
Airlines Arena? Yeah. They could have easily done that, I believe. Especially, I mean, all the wrestling fans were there anyway. We're going to be there for the WrestleMania weekend. I don't see why they continue to just have these big shows and then, only selling 8,000 tickets. Seems a little ridiculous. It doesn't seem like very good. It doesn't feel like it's best for business, does it, Kenny?
No, it doesn't. But I think I have a feeling why they kind of did it like that, because they don't want to oversell themselves. They want to keep it hot. They want to keep people wanting. And I believe that. I mean, they would have sold out 15,000 anytime. anyway, like, you know, easily. But I think they want to keep people wanting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Can't wait. Not long now. Right. Let's go through WWE Roadblock. Let's go through that real quick. Now WWE, you know, put this roadblock in the way, which I don't feel that it was needed at all. They did. I don't think they needed to do this, but nevertheless, they did this. The card was what it was, but it wasn't a bad card, was it? It wasn't a bad show.
No, it wasn't a bad show at all. It was actually a pretty decent show. I thought it was very entertaining. It did not set up. It did not change anything. That's the only thing. Only gripe that I have with it is that you made a big deal out of a house show on steroids, more or less, and call it Roadblock. You know, between right 3 weeks before WrestleMania, I feel like something should have gotten out of whack. I feel like something should have changed. Maybe Natalya should have beat Charlotte for the women's title. Give me something that actually made it feel like it was more than just a glorified house show.
Yeah, she could have dropped the title, to Natalya in Canada, which would have been fine,
Right.
and then win it back on Raw, tomorrow. But yeah, they could have at least done something. I feel you, but they had a number of things that they had to get across here on this show. I definitely felt. We started with the New Day versus the League of Nations, and now with them facing off the League of Nations, WWE had to do something different for a change, which meant they had to get New Day over as a babyface team, which obviously is the plans after WrestleMania. So they had to do this, and I thought they did it very, very well with the usual stuff, switching up a couple of moves from Kofi and Big E. So I don't know if you noticed Kofi, doing his SOS, which he stopped doing once they turned heel. But they did a number of things a bit differently.
Yeah, it was good. I like the. Is he calling it SOS or Trouble in Paradise?
Well, the kick is Trouble in Paradise, but the kind of thing where he sets up like a inverted Russian leg sweep and then kind of forward rolls over.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I thought this was a good match. What do you think about the League of Nations?
That was a good match. I mean, obviously we just said that. They put on a good showing. They were booked a lot stronger than I thought it would. Sheamus broke out the Texas Cloverleaf, which, okay. I mean, Sheamus was just champion a few months ago, and now he's like barely on the radar. Like he's like almost Jack Swagger status. So that's a huge fall from grace. But no, it was a very, very good match, good solid match. Those guys, the League of Nations, I had high hopes for them, and I feel like they've been very disappointing. Their run has been, but that's just me. I really wanted to see more out of Alberto Del Rio in this, and I feel like he's kind of got shafted and got sent back to the back burner again because they don't know what to do with this guy.
Don't make any sense whatsoever. New Day picked up the win. Really, really good match, I thought, especially with Big E picking up the win, big ending on one Wade Barrett, who is leaving, I believe, in June when his contract is over, which I don't think is a bad idea. Ziggler, take note, mate, take note. Right, so next we had Chris Jericho facing off against Jack Swagger. Now what we had to do here is we had to make sure that Chris Jericho was going to get across as a really, really big heel, so the promo at the beginning definitely did that. So another tick for WWE by making sure they had to put Chris Jericho across. The match with Jack Swagger went longer than I thought it would, Josh. It was a decent 8-minute match. Swagger, who has been nowhere to be seen, especially on the main shows. But Jericho had to have a match here. AJ didn't need it. Jericho did because he had to put over his heelish ways.
Right, and did he ever! I mean, he ripped the entire country of Canada and the city of Toronto a new one. And then, even taking a little jab, where it wasn't an offensive jab, and anyway, it was a jab at Bret Hart when they started chanting for Bret. Jericho is best when he is nasty, and he does it just about as good as anyone ever has.
Yeah, definitely. He knows how to play a heel, and he knows how to play a really, really good heel. And I'm glad that they've turned him heel, because the heel Jericho is dynamite. So the next match we had was the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder versus Enzo More and Colin Cassidy. Now, for me, again, I was looking forward to this match. Now, what WWE had to get over was the fact that it was the only NXT match on this card, and obviously they had to use the most over team in the whole of NXT, because people know who they are. They know who they are no matter what show they're on. So the fact that we got to see Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, and the fact that they used the Revival, which I am very happy about, because these guys, they don't get enough credit. These guys are such a throwback, and I really, really like the way that they carry themselves.
Very Arn Anderson, WCW like. And honestly, I don't think I've seen very many of their matches, but what I've seen of them, I like. Very, very good together. They use tag team strategies, and they work really, really well together. They do remind me of Arn and Ole Anderson or something from back in the WCW days. But that was really good match. Really, really good match. I almost wonder though, is Enzo and Big Cass ever going to get a run with the NXT tag team titles? I feel like that they're so over that they might not even get to be champions at any point.
Yeah, I agree with you, and they may be thinking more. They probably don't need it, but it looks like it's going to go the way of Alpha, American Alpha, which is fine, because I love Jason Jordan and Gable. So, but it would have been nice for Amore and Cassidy to kind of win it. Who knows? They may go for a freeway at NXT Dallas. But I mean, the tapings has already happened, so we obviously know where they're going with this. But they did well. I thought that they did well to get across what they needed to, and for an NXT match as well to be on the card, which was great. So next we go to Charlotte versus Natalya. Man, what a match! I mean, we knew what to expect from these ladies. They gave them 13, 14 minutes. We knew how good they can be, especially when they faced off in the women's NXT Women's Title Tournament final.
Right.
But I mean, just give me your thoughts on this, Max. I thought this was great.
It was good. I won't say it was great because I know what we're comparing it to. Their NXT match was 5-star. It was fantastic. This was a good match. I felt like I felt like this match, it didn't upset me, obviously. It disappointed me. I felt like this should have been Natty's turn to. This is where they could have done something that we weren't looking for. Gave us one. Natty wins this match, and then that kind of just flip flops the whole Divas division. As far as what we thought was going to happen. I really thought that should have happened there, and I also thought that Natty kind of had to, almost like she was holding back versus Charlotte. I don't know if you felt that way or not, but I feel like that Natalya is so much better in ring than all these other women wrestlers, that every time she does get in a match with somebody, she just kind of has to tone it down. Yeah, she has to turn the volume down. Like, I'd love to see her. Oh God, of course my mind goes blank. What's the Asian chick that's NXT?
Asuka.
Yes. I would love to see her, them two go at it, because I feel like she could actually have an equal at that point, and I would think that Charlotte would be able to keep up with her and be able to be as strong as Natalya is. And I don't know if this is just how they decided to book it. They didn't want Charlotte looking too strong. I don't know. I have never liked the way that they treat Natalya. It's probably one of the things that I harp on the most on the Altered Angle podcast is the fact that Natalya gets shit on pretty much every time she does anything.
Yeah, I know, and it's a massive shame. She's a massive talent, but you're right in one thing. I will not be surprised if Asuka wins the NXT Women's title, that someone from the main roster comes down to have a feud with her. A feud between her and Paige would be nuts, because I don't know what's happening with Paige at the moment. But yeah, I definitely think that Natalya and Asuka would be a nice fit, seeing as how Natalya's obviously wrestled in Japan, right. So she knows the style, so that will be great. So Charlotte obviously wins. With what did she win with? Was it a roll up or was it?
She rolled up and feet on the ropes.
That's the one. Yeah. Ric Flair obviously doing his distractions. So yeah, that's what happened there. Then we had Brock Lesnar I did not realize this was a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Yeah, I know. After I'm reviewing the results, because I watched it last night and I kind of fell asleep a couple different times. And I'm like, 2-on-1 handicap match. Well, he beat the crap out of Luke Harper. I didn't, I thought it was just a 1-on-1 match, but obviously it wasn't.
Dude, this match went 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Like what? How many suplex after suplex after suplex after suplex? Harper did catch him with some big boots, some sweet chins, and the discus clothesline. But he just It's weird. It's not weird because obviously they have to protect Bray Wyatt, which is fine, which is cool. But I found it weird that nothing happened because it made me feel like they're gonna go this route later down the road. Did you get that feeling?
Yes, I felt like that this accomplished nothing, and that they're just going to say, well, on Raw this week it's going to be, or next week it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus it's a 2-on-1 handicap match versus 2 of the other Wyatts, and then still nothing with Bray. And what, how does this all tie in with Bray Wyatt confronting Triple H on Raw and glazing his hand over the WWE title?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going with all this? You've pretty much screwed the Wyatts, the whole thing. You screwed the whole thing up for the last 2 years. And so what now? What are we going? What are we doing with this?
I don't even know. There was a lot of mixed messages. I'm glad that you reminded me about, him glazing the title, when he was kind of face to face with Triple H, insinuating something. And it's probably insinuating after WrestleMania he's coming for the WWE title. But dude, you're in no condition right now to even challenge for that. So I don't even know where they go, even think about going with that. So yeah, that's definitely one thing to think about. But Brock Lesnar just decimates Luke Harper without Bray Wyatt pretty much getting in the ring. So that was that. Then before we had the main event, we had Sami Zayn come out. The main thing here, again, Sami Zayn was to get Sami Zayn over for the crowd to know who Sami Zayn is, get used to his moves. Again, this was a an okay match with Stardust. It was the right person to have a match with also. I think the crowd were getting a bit tired towards that point. We're just waiting for the main event. But maybe because they felt maybe shortchanged by Brock Lesnar just being in there for 4 minutes. But yeah, the match was okay. What did you think of this match?
It was okay. Yeah.
It's just okay.
Yeah, it was okay. The Stardust character could go away now, and I'd be okay with that. And but I will have to say that even though Cody has gotten this god awful, ridiculous knockoff of his brother's gimmick, he's done good with it.
Yes.
I just feel like he's got so much more to give than this just stupid Stardust gimmick. It irritates me.
Well, I don't know if the Cody Rhodes character is coming back by the sounds of what they're saying. So it looks like we might have to deal with that just that little bit more. Okay, the main event, we had Triple H defeating one Dean Ambrose. Again, this match was very stiff. They had to get across that Ambrose was strong, and that Ambrose could actually beat Triple H to make him seem strong enough to actually beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. They did that in some regards. He had a really good back and forth with Triple H, and then there was a point where he actually got a 3 count, Josh.
Yes, and apparently Triple H's foot was on the rope, but the referee went ahead and went down for the 3, and then explained to him later that you did not win. Shouldn't have counted 3 because his foot was on the rope. Talking about beating the hell out of each other. Those guys went in there and went at it. They went at it like it was a pay-per-view, a major pay-per-view. Yeah. Did I like the outcome? No, I would have preferred it. I would have preferred Triple H dropping the title at that point, because now he's basically going into WrestleMania as the face. So the whole thing is screwed up and doesn't make any sense. But Dean Ambrose, in my book, and I just said it a few minutes ago, I'm not the biggest Dean Ambrose fan. I'm not even a marginal Dean Ambrose fan. He did well last night, and I will have to look at him in a little bit lighter way now. I will have to give him a little bit more respect. I feel like that he is really, really, he's in there putting in work. He's doing a good job of what he has to give. And I know Peppers was big on him as Moxley. What's his name? John Moxley. And I feel like that if he got back more to that and less of the I'm so insane because I don't know why, what have I done that people make, other than stealing a couple ambulances, what exactly has he done to make people think that he needs to be on medication and in a straitjacket? I mean, this guy is not Brian Pillman, for God's sakes. No. Brian Pillman was crazy. And
Brian Pillman put out a gun on Austin. Come on, man.
Exactly. I mean, what we're seeing with Ambrose, he's not that. So, you know, the whole Ambrose Asylum thing gets on my nerves. But I will have to give him props, give him respect for the work that he does. I think he had a good match with Triple H. They went at it hard, and that's what you want to see in a championship match. So,
Yep, there you go. Triple H takes it just about. Ambrose went for a elbow drop off the barricade onto the table. Triple H rolled off. Ambrose went through the table. Ref was counting to 10, got to 9. Ambrose slid in right into a pedigree for the 1-2-3 for Triple H. No Roman Reigns coming in after, which I thought would have happened. But obviously, we still got 3 weeks left to Mania, so there is that. Okay. Right. All right. So we're going to go to our last break. Okay. And then we'll be back with Shook Stunners, Segue Time Machine, and one Josh Dillon will run the 10 count. So don't you miss it.
What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Ferrari in Las Vegas, and you're listening to the Swerve Talk Network featuring Max Wrestling, Sunday Seg, Offshoot Radio, and more at the Swerve Talk Network on Twitter for more information. Woohoo!
And we're back for the last part of the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast, episode 155. You know who I am by now, god damn it. And I'm joined by Josh Dillon. So, all right, here we go. Shook Stunners. Jobber of the week. Jobber of the week. Wow. Who do we give Jobber of the week to? Jobber of the week has to go to
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler. There you go. Dolph.
He's been Jobber of the Year candidate.
Yep. Dolph Ziggler. Move of the week. What do we give for move of the week? What do we give for move of the week? Let's think. What has happened this week? Is it the free code breakers on AJ?
I was thinking the DDT off the rope, the backflipping AJ Styles DDT.
Yeah.
What do you call that thing?
The moonsault inverted.
There you go. You had it earlier. Yep. Yeah, that's a nasty move. That is a sick move. So
moonsault inverted DDT. All right. Inverted DDT. Okay, and wrestler of the week. Who do we give wrestler of the week to? Triple H took a Dirty Deeds on Raw, but he actually won the match this week. Who got twofold? This week? Who is wrestler of the week? I'm gonna give you the choice, Josh. Who would you give wrestler of the week to? Do we give it to Shane? Do we give it to Y2J?
All right, here, just my opinion. I think we need to give it to Samoa Joe.
All right, there we go. Samoa Joe, wrestler of the week. My man Samoa Joe takes it down. Okay, so right about now we're going to go to Segue Time Machine. History in the making. So today in wrestling history, it is March the 13th. So let's see what went down in history today. So we had Crash Holly in 2000 winning the Hardcore title. And exactly the same day, a year later in 2001, Crash Holly won the WWF Light Heavyweight title as well. We also have Christopher Daniels in 2005 winning the X Division title. We also had Destination X 2005, the TNA pay-per-view, as well as Victory Road 2011. So, Josh, Raw episode 355, year 2000. What do you think the rating was?
A little less than 4.
Right. The rating was 6.3.
Holy shit.
Yeah, 6.3, and this is why, okay? So, on the card, we had Hardy Boys defeating Head Cheese. We had 2-on-1 handicap match, Dudley's versus Mark Henry went to a no contest. We had a three-way no DQ match for the European title, Kurt Angle defeating Chris Jericho and Taz. We had DX, Triple H, Road Dogg, and X-Pac defeating Too Cool. We had Kane defeating the Big Boss Man. We had Dean Malenko winning the light heavyweight title. Dean Malenko winning light heavyweight title, defeating S.A. Rios in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. We had the Acolytes, APA, defeating Edge and Christian. We had the Radicals defeating Test and Val Venus. And in the main event, we had The Rock defeating Big Show, with Shane McMahon being the special guest referee.
That was all a 2-hour show?
Yeah, I believe. Right, so, Josh.
Damn.
Nitro, on the flip side, what do you reckon this rating was?
Well, everybody was watching Raw. I don't know, that you said 2,000, right? So that was still pretty hot. I'm gonna say it was 4.5.
Dude, the rating was 2.5.
Okay.
On the way out, and this
at that point they had already taken a lot of the talent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We had 3 count defeating the Young Dragons. We had the Wall defeating Bam Bam Bigelow by DQ. You could probably hear my daughter crying in the background. We had Billy Kidman and Booker T defeating XS. I don't know who that is. We had Kurt Hennig defeating Lex Luger by DQ. Norman Smiley defeating The Dog. I don't know who The Dog is. We had a hardcore match. Terry Funk defeating Brian Knobbs. Sid Vicious and Vampiro defeating the Harris Brothers. Stevie Ray defeating Disco Inferno. And then the main event was Team Package. That's Lex Luger and Ric Flair defeating Kurt Hennig and Hulk Hogan by DQ after 9 minutes. So there goes your 2.5 rating. Also on today, I want to say a happy birthday to Mato Jackson of the Young Bucks. Also, today is the anniversary of the death of one Andrew Martin, one Test. So rest in peace, Test. And there we go. So now it's time for Josh to do the 10 count. So Josh, let me remind you of the rules. The 10 count, you have 10 seconds to answer as many questions as you can to do with your chosen category. So pick category A, B, or C.
B, because I'm a butt man.
A B. Okay, so you have 10 seconds to name as many answers as you can. It's NXT call-ups, so you have 10 seconds to name as many people on the main roster right now who have come up from NXT. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go.
I suck at these kind of games. I probably am not going to be able to give you anything. I got 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
B. Yeah, I suck at this game.
All right, that's it. It's over. Dude, no. No. Dude, no,
Yeah.
no. Oh, my God. Okay, so now...
You should have let me pick my category, like, other than just giving me a letter. You just said NXT call-ups or something else, and then maybe I would have had a shot, but no, you had to go in as blind.
It's not how we do it, man. That's not how we do it. So I thought one David Gillam was going to be the only guy to be on a 0, and now he is joined by Josh Dillon. Pepper, you better save the day.
Oh, he's gonna give me so much hell for that. All right, who qualifies for the answers for that?
Oh man, dude. Okay, come on. NXT call-ups. And who's been called up on the main roster from NXT? Dude, you could have had Neville. You
said they had to. I thought they had to start with a B.
No, dude. Category A, B, or C. You picked
it's
B.
your damn accent.
NXT.
I thought you said that they had to start with the letter B.
No,
dude. I could have went and Sami Zayn. Oh, geez. See, we did a restart. Can we have a redo?
We can't do a redo with that. Dude, you know what? What can we do?
It's okay. I don't mind being the laughing stock for a week. It's
no, dude. Come on. You know what? Should I give him another chance? Should I give him another shot? Should I give him a shot at our category A or C?
No, he's gonna have an opportunity to suck even more again. So.
Okay,
I could have swore you said their name had to start with a B. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Anybody's got caught up with a B. Bailey's still in NXT. That's the only one I could come up with a B. So that was just a miscommunication. You know, what, 2,000 miles apart at this point. It's kind of,
Lost in translation.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Call it that. Don't worry, you'll get another shot another time, probably with a different category. Yeah, there you go. It's the end of the show, people. Okay, Josh, can you let the people know where they can find you on the Twitter and where they can find the Altered Angle podcast?
Sure thing. You can follow me at Real Josh Dillon on Twitter. You can follow my co-host who didn't make it today, Pepper Brooks, at Altered Angle PB. You can find our show's page at The Altered Angle, and all of our podcasts are on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and Stitcher Radio. We also have Facebook, The Altered Angle, and we have Instagram. It's Altered Angle Podcast, although we don't use it very often, but we do have it because it's free.
Free is always the way to be. There you go. Okay, so I'd like to thank you just for coming on. It won't be a year and a bit later next time. Don't worry about that. I'm hopefully gonna have you and Pepper on our WrestleMania live show. That's right, people. WrestleMania live show coming up. That's right. We're gonna do a live show. We're gonna have special guest hosts for each match. We are gonna do the draw for that. Okay, but to make it fair, we're gonna do the draw for that the week before WrestleMania. So who knows? Some people may be getting the main event. Some people may get the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. You never know. So hopefully you, yourself, and Pepper will be on that show. I'll speak to you about that after the show. Guys, make sure you check out the latest Retro Roundtable, episode 70, where we talked about old school 90s video games. The next one is happening next week. It is the Retro Roundtable, episode 18, where we'll be talking about old school 80s and 90s movies that we grew up with. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you check us out on the flip side, people. You know where, onewrestling.com. Make sure you check us out Sunday Segue TV episode 7, where we'll be updating you on the New Japan Cup day 2. We're at the quarterfinal stage, so make sure you check that out. Also, you can follow me at Kinny Killa. You can follow us at Sunday Segue. And yeah, if you don't like that, you can choke on that slap nuts. Woo!